Peace. This is your host, Selah, Shalom. And this is the Cosmon Teachings in the words of Jehovah and his angel ambassadors from the Cosmon Bible OAHSPE. The topic of discussion today is called Who is Satan, Lucifer, and that old dragon, the devil. Here I'm going to be dispelling the myth and the allegory of these terminologies. Now, many of us come from a Christian, Catholic, Islamic background, and the idea of Satan, Lucifer, and the devil has been programmed in our mind as a man with horns on his head, living beneath the earth, torturing the souls of mortals. This is the popular idea and belief, and many still cling to this belief today. Now first, let's deal with the word Satan, because when most Christians think of Satan, they think of a red man with horns. But when we define the word Satan, which is rooted in Hebrew, it means to oppose, to deceive. So if this is the case, anyone who is deceptive is exercising the nature of Satan. A person who opposes truth for a lie is exercising the nature of Satan. So with having a correct understanding of the nature of Satan, you can see that these characteristics are applied to both mortals and angels. And it's not singled out to just one individual, as you have been taught to believe. And it is only the angels residing in the first and second resurrection that exercise the nature of Satan, to deceive or to oppose. But the angels residing in the third heaven have purged themselves from these behaviors and characteristics and have been able to come clean within their behavior, entering the third heaven. But until you are purged from the ways and characteristics of deception and opposing truth for a lie, you will not enter the third heaven. You will be stuck in the second and in the first heaven until you yourself or your community as a whole are purged, and then you could progress into the third atmospheric heaven of this planet. Now, I just wanted to put that out there to let you know that it's not just scattered all out throughout the universe. I'm concentrating it in a certain area for you to have understanding. Now, another word people attribute to a devilish nature is Lucifer. Now, most people believe that Lucifer was kicked out of heaven because of the verse in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12, where it states, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakens the nations?" So here in the King James Version, it mentions the word Lucifer as if it's a person. But when we translate this back into Hebrew, this verse or this word, it states something different for the word Lucifer. The word is Halil. And this word Halil means in Hebrew, shining one. And the primary root for the word Halil is halal, which means shine. And many have concluded that Isaiah was speaking of the Babylonian king, perhaps Nebuchadnezzar II. And the word Lucifer in Latin means light bringer. It has a similar definition to the Hebrew. But Lucifer is not a person, as it was described in the King James Version, as they want you to believe, as the interpreters interpreted it. But Lucifer is a description of something bright and shining. And most attribute Lucifer with Venus, because Venus is considered the bright morning star when seen throughout the year. It's not only the bright morning star, but at times the bright evening star as well, because the progression of Venus can be seen both in the morning and in the evening at different times throughout the year. I know this because since the years I've been trying out the moon cycles, I'll see Venus appear in the western sky and I'll see Venus appear in the eastern sky at different times throughout the year, showing this progression. Now the next term, the dragon, is found in the Bible and other literatures as well. The word dragon is rooted in the Greek meaning serpent or huge serpent. An example of this would be the Komodo dragon. In the Bible in Genesis, it speaks of a speaking serpent. Although we know that's an allegory story, there are testimonies of serpentine-like humanoids that some people have attested for, being the reptilians. In ancient Iraq, 4th millennium BC, there is a statue of a humanoid serpentine female breastfeeding which would seem to be her offspring. Now this statue predates ancient Egypt and the uniting of Egypt by Narmer by nearly 1,000 years. And it is Iraq where the very story of the Garden of Eden stems from. But through these ancient wars, a lot of these monuments have been destroyed and a lot of the evidence have been eradicated. Now, the term devil is the most famous names of them all. The word devil is rooted in diablos, meaning slander. And the word slander means the action or crime of making a false spoken statement damaging to a person's reputation. See that? That is what slander is in return. That's what the nature of a devil is. So with this being said, it takes away the spooky idea of a red man with horns. So a devil is a person that speaks lies against the person. Both mortals and angels are capable of speaking lies. See that? Now to seal it up with OAHSPE, in the first book of God, chapter 10, verse 11 through 13, it states, it's verse 11, as God is captain over heaven and earth unto all righteous souls, so is there a Satan who is captain over evil spirits. See that? Verse 12, and inasmuch as the king's people have not faith in the Father, their souls fall a prey to Satan and his hosts. And what is Satan? Somebody that opposes truth. So these are angels going against the ways of the Creator or the commandments of true God. Verse 13, let not any man flatter himself, saying, behold, I have joined the faithless, in parentheses, Israelites. My soul shall escape hell. For in that day and hour God may be putting him to the test, to see if his heart be for good works and holiness. For as ye profess God, ye are doubly bound to practice godliness in your behavior toward men and angels. See that? So here Satan is described as being the captain of evil spirits. Who are evil spirits? Evil mortals who have died and have not changed from their evil ways, and now practice evil in spirit. And this is where you get your term evil spirit from, just like you got an evil person. See that? Understanding this take away the spooky idea of an evil spirit as some gobbling monster or something. No, these are people who crossed over and practice their evil still. And if they unite as a group, then it's just like a gang. You got one bad dude, and then he link up with 5 or 10 other bad dudes, then you got a problem on your hand. Now in God's book of OAHSPE, chapter 4, verse 5 through 7, it states, verse 5, in which sermon all resurrection is of God, who is Jehovah's son. But to distinguish from which God I named all that desire not resurrection in heaven, but love more the earth, Satan. And whosoever loveth evil and practice it, I named Satan. And whosoever combine as angels or as mortals, making a comparison, to make anarchy, I named evil workers for hell. Verse 6, as God and heaven are for the resurrection, so are Satan, hell, and the devil of the declination. Verse 7, to one or the other, resurrection or declination, belong all men on earth, and to one or the other belong all spirits of the dead. See that? So this verse is showing you that the nature of Satan, the devil, and all that is basically the works of mortals and angels opposing the ways of the Creator and true God. That's all it is. You got good people and bad people. The bad people are labeled Satan and devilish, satanic. It's no spooky man. It's no goblins. It's people. And when people die, they become the spirits of the dead or angels. And if they're not changing their ways, they continue their evil ways in spirit. It's as simple as that. And with that, I'd like to say peace and blessings. Shalom.